Here.
Debbie?
Here. Gary Bio is with his father. He had surgery, and Dennis Matthew is in the Philippines, so obviously those two aren't going to make it tonight. Patty, you wanted to discuss the date on here?
Oh, yes. My sincere apologies for the typo at the top of the agenda. It says 2019. That's the one and only mistake I've made so far this year.
Steve's back there choking. Okay, visitors, public comment. Do you have any comments? Yes, sir.
Larry Peterson, just checking on the rezone of the land on 97 and Crouch, if anything is happening.
We haven't done anything with it. Is there an application out there?
The board had sent, the plan commission had sent a recommendation,
To do a resolution, but we don't have a,
but
we
it
don't
hasn't
have
been
an
on the agenda.
but we don't have an application. We need an application in order to do a resolution.
So
Am I
who,
correct, Patty?
Well, typically, if it's an application to the county would send us that resolution. So
Right.
I'm a little confused as to what resolution we're looking for.
so does the plan commission make the resolution? The owner does the
Or
resolution
the county?
to the county?
No, the county would do the resolution, am I correct?
Looks just like an application. It's a rezone.
Yeah.
We tried to get it through once and the county didn't pass it. And they said that we had to change something in McMillan to make it go through, or change your comprehensive plan.
And they're working on that, a comprehensive plan. Or you had to buy more property.
Right.
Is that one of the options?
Yeah,
Yeah, because according to our comp plan right now, it doesn't work.
and it doesn't really meet the general egg preservation land use 35, there's only 22.3.
But my question on that is, even if we change, we would do a resolution for you. Is the county even gonna pass it then?
I don't know, that's
Well,
what
see,
they're-
and I think what, instead of being exclusive ag to general ag,
Mm-hmm.
is what would have to be changed.
Right.
That's why I'm asking, because I don't know what to do to make it go further or less or what, or,
I would say you need to have a conversation with Dominic up at the county.
and he tells me to talk to you guys.
Yeah,
Right, so,
They get the final say on it, that's the issue.
well, no, the issue is that that is all in farmland preservation,
Mm-hmm.
which the former owner had it in that category. He never changed it out of that, turned around, sold X amount of land to somebody else.
What if you did a different type of application? I mean, just for, instead of the building permit, do the rezone first, am I correct?
That's what I tried, just to
Right,
get
that's
it
what he
done.
tried, and then it gets thrown back.
Okay.
What about asking the guy what he suggests you do about it?
Well, he gave me 3 different options, and one of it was purchase more property, otherwise the town has to make an exception to the rules, and then where do you stop with that? Because you know the next one that comes in is gonna want that also.
Well, there too, if you do a resolution, the ERC would still have final.
Yeah, the ERC would be jumping in there too.
So,
Did they say that you have to go, even though the town would adopt a resolution, you still would have to go back to the county and have it reviewed by ERC and the county board, correct?
I believe, yeah,
Yeah.
it's gotta get, tried to redone here to general ag, and then I don't know if they're gonna approve it up there either.
No, that's just it.
I double checked the process,
Yeah,
just my opinion.
I maybe call Dominic this week and see. He wants to build on it, yeah.
Oh, I understand that, yeah. So he needs 35 acres of it. Even at general ag, he needs 35, wouldn't he?
no, not for general ag, you don't need 35.
He
You know-
said 10, is what I was
Right.
told.
10?
But it's in farmland preservation,
Okay.
so that's where that seems to be where the biggest kicker comes in, am I correct?
Well, and the fact is that he cannot collect on farmland preservation because he does not own enough
Right, well,
land to
You own
collect
what,
the net.
22 acres or something?
22.3 or 5 or something.
So what do you gotta do to get it out of farmland preservation?
You gotta talk to the county. The county's gonna get the final say on all this, and the ERC and
Well,
the,
the farmland preservation, that's a state
yeah.
run.
Dominic had like, buy more land, have you guys changed your
Comp plan.
comp plan, or maybe I could try to rezone to general ag, because first it was rural residential, I think.
Mhm. Maybe general ag would work. I mean,
Funny Dominic didn't offer that as an option.
maybe he didn't think of it either. It's a
But otherwise I'm
possibility.
stuck right now.
So he went, well, property that he really can't do squat with is what it amounts to, except farm it.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking for answers.
Mhm. I'll give him a
So
call.
is this all,
Yeah, even if he made a general ag, if it's gonna be 10 acre, if he has to have 10 acres, he can't divide it up like he wanted to, can he?
I don't want to buy
He's
it.
not
I want to put
dividing
one
it.
shed, one house, that's all I want.
Ah, well then, see if the county will change it. If they'll change it from
We
farmland
have,
preservation.
well, the state is what changes for farmland preservation, that's a
No, we
state-
can make that decision, because that comes up as part of our comprehensive plan.
Right,
So it's not the state that makes the decision, but
but,
But it is
her,
the
your
county.
your contention is correct, and that is, if we make an exception to you, everybody and his brother's gonna come and say, well, you did it for what's his name, and so,
Mhm.
but
Keep
if
quiet.
it goes to general ag,
yeah.
and
See
But
then,
the
if
county
that's
has
an
the
option.
final say, quite honestly.
Well, correct,
So you might pose that to them, tell them that the town says, you know, if we make this one change, then everybody's gonna come at us, and they're gonna wanna change.
And we could end up even with a lawsuit on that deal, because if we go and say yes for one and no to the next, that could be an issue.
Actually not probably, because the county is
No,
responsible.
it's the final
They're the
say.
ones that get to sue.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll test those waters.
No, that's the
I know.
one single reason for having the county do
Yeah.
the zone planning and zoning, because they now become responsible.
Mhm.
We only can just suggest to them that they might wanna do this.
But like I said, even if we would do a resolution, are they even gonna pass it then? That's,
Can't be sure of that.
no,
Can you do it with, like on a non-precedent setting basis?
or,
No,
no.
probably
Yeah.
not.
How would you?
would you write that in the resolution?
Is there a time limit on,
You got,
They used to do that with union stuff, I know.
on farmland preservation?
yeah, what is it, 10 years?
How many years?
I think it's designated, but we can undesignate it. That's what the comprehensive plan is gonna
Right.
become. And we're gonna be asking probably some questions like that. Do we wanna have farmland preservation here? I think we can make the decision not to do that.
Where it's not a forced thing, is what you're saying,
Correct.
yeah.
So then we could make it all general ag and not make it farmland preservation.
right,
And then they could get into the programs themselves if they choose to,
Yeah.
yeah.
We're gonna be sending a questionnaire out to answer.
well,
Yeah, you're gonna have.
he's looking for the answers.
Yeah,
I've been looking for a year, so.
well, you're gonna have to get a hold of the county and sit down with Dominic, I would say, and, you know, see what you can come up with on their end, that they're gonna pass. Because there's no sense in us passing a resolution and then turn around and say no,
Right, I agree.
so,
I could call them and then
okay.
kick it back to
All right.
Millen again, so I don't know.
Either that or sell it, what?
Want to buy some land?
Not at all. I'm not a farmer.
farmers
Any other
aren't buying land
comments?
either right now.
Larry?
Who are our county representatives and why haven't we seen any of them at our meetings?
I have no idea who's the
Our
county.
Tom
representative,
Soibert's,
Soipert is
the
from
south of E, of
Yeah.
Allen.
south of Elm, yeah.
Yeah, it's not in our.
Who's the other one? We've got two of them.
Is that vacant?
Somebody from Stratford.
Yeah,
Somebody
somebody
from
from,
Stratford?
yeah,
Yeah.
from,
I think Cleveland, town of
Cleveland
Cleveland.
Township.
Oh, Cleveland, yeah.
I don't know who he is.
Yeah, I heard the name, I just don't remember.
He's coming up for election again. Somebody wanna run against him?
Which
You don't
one?
show up at any town meetings, you shouldn't get any votes.
I don't know about the south, I don't know about the one south, but I know the one north is coming up.
Is it-
Cyber, 27 and 29 are both up for election. in
Yeah,
April.
okay, yeah.
Yeah. So anybody that's interested in the county seat. run your
Although
hand in there.
I don't know, I think the 5th of January was the
Was
time
it
to
the-
get your
the cutoff?
signatures in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
Oops.
if we
Missed it.
contact these individuals, why can't they be present at least one meeting out of the quarter? Because we don't know what's going on the county level.
true. Well, let's wait and see what happens after April, and then we can contact these people when,
No.
Because we elected them.
I think I'd like to see them come before that.
and give them a call, Dorothy.
Okay, I
Yeah,
will.
tell them we'd like to see them at February's meeting for some type of report on what
Okay,
they're
I'll make
planning
sure
on
that,
doing.
so it's on the agenda.
Pardon?
I'll make sure that they're on the agenda.
Not on
They
your,
should be on the agenda to come to the,
well, we'll put them on the town agenda.
okay.
Well, they'd be under visitors, so they'd be covered anyway, so, for the county. Anything else? Okay, approval of town board meeting minutes for December 9th. Need a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Minutes for December 30th for our special board meeting. Can I get a motion on that one, please?
I'll make that motion too.
And the second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, reports, Dorothy.
Okay, Plan Commission met December 23rd, 6 PM, and we discussed, you'll see it's on your, the rezone Yellowstone Crossing LLC. A lot of discussion about that property because of the salt storage shed that we were notified that they were thinking about building. It was up already, but then, like I said, after a lot of discussion, we recommended to the town board to approve if there's a written notice from the, we thought it was the DNR at that time, it's the DOT that does the salt sheds, and no commercial dumping of snow on the property, and address the waterway to the north of the property. That's strictly a recommendation from the Plan Commission. And we did it that way because we have no teeth at the Plan Commission, we're strictly advisory. And then the town board then handles it, and after that, it goes in front of the county, and that's also in the Joint Plan Commission area.
We'll get into more discussion when we get down to that one anyway. Fire Department, Rob.
Since our last normal board meeting, we had one fire call.
Do we have normal ones?
Well, the special, I'm not the special one that we had.
Just asking.
So yeah, we have normal ones. One fire call, one EMS call, one motor vehicle accident, and 2 utility calls.
What is utility?
That can be a smell in a house, somebody has a smell of an odor out in public and they want us to go investigate it. It could be a leaky gas, meter, anything like that. It's just, yes. So anything like, just,
With the fire.
there was the one down on Mill Creek. We were called for mutually for that one, or made us call. New hires, we had a probationary member of Isaiah C. Aper. There's, the department has written and approved the lockout tagout SOP number 314.
What is that?
Basically, it's if there's a piece of machinery that has power going to it, or air going to it, or water or steam going to it, that the people properly shut it off and then tag it. That it
okay.
stays off until all the personnel are removed from the machine, or nobody's touching it anymore, and then it goes back on. So it's not accidentally energized and run. Training this month will be rapid intervention, or RIT as they refer to it as. Training is to help the members prepare to help a firefighter that finds themselves in trouble. We'll be going over breathers, different things like that, how to buddy breathe and things like that. Whichever the hose you kind of follow to go out and stuff like that, by looking at just the couplings, things like that. And then for EMS, Brooke and Brittany and Carly have finished their EMT class and are working on finishing their testing.
Says fishing.
Oh, yes, it does.
It's only Alicia's first mistake this year.
You get one, right?
That's the three.
Yeah, it is.
Sounds like a good job.
It doesn't come up wrong on spell check. It's fishing. And then the EMR and EMT refresher will be starting in a couple of weeks here to keep the members up to date on all of their equipment and also to keep their license up.
Okay. Any questions for Rod?
Yes. Who's the medical advisor for the fire department?
I think it's Dr. McKee.
Dr. who?
McKee.
Okay.
Who was the one previous to him?
The nickel.
That's
Dr. Nickel was for years.
Yeah. I knew he was, I couldn't remember his last name.
Yes. Down by, way down south by his family, he moved down to, I can't remember right now. I want to say like Sheboygan or something down that way. But I can't say for certain.
I think that's what it's spelled wrong.
Okay. John Paco will not be here tonight. They're still working on the employee handbook. He had sent me an email. Dennis is in the Philippines. Gary Mayo for garbage and recycling. He wanted to be here for a recycling meeting. We'll have that on the agenda next month. So, Mr. Franz, you're up.
Nothing on highways other than every time I turn around, they're plowing. Hard to believe.
Well, it's winter. What I did want to suggest to you is get your committee together this month, or before the next meeting, and what we're going to be putting out for bids, because I want to put that on the agenda for February. So, and then what was it, Patty? Wasn't there something with MLS?
Yes. So our grant application has gone to the committee for review, and the committee's gonna start meeting the end of January with anticipated awards and notifications in February of 2020. And we got a 5% chance of winning.
That much, huh?
They have over 1,000 applications for just the town portion, which is, I believe, 29 million. So they figured it out with the amount of applications and the money that we're looking at a 5% chance of.
We might not want to put that in our budget.
So we're not supposed to hold our hand where?
Well, you're not supposed to hold your breath yet.
Yeah.
You know. But the committee's got all the packets, so the good news is that we made it through the initial eligibility review that the department does, and it's gone to committee.
Maybe they'll look at us as really needy, who knows? We'll have to wait and see what happens. Okay, buildings and grounds, there's nothing, financial report. We changed the looks of this on the agenda so that we can just cover the whole sheet at one time between Steve and Patty. Steve, you want to explain your part? You don't have to read it, but if there's any questions, does anybody have any questions?
It reckons out.
You did good.
Hey. I would like to point out that Patty got the date right.
It's because you typed it, but thank you.
Oh, okay.
Actually, on here it says 2019, oh yeah, month ending, so you're right, I'm sorry. Any questions on any of that? or Patty's section, either one. I need a motion to approve the financial report, please.
I'll make that motion.
Need a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I got one point of discussion. We got a certificate of deposit that's maturing in January.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna roll it over for another year, I would assume.
Wasn't our transfer gonna go into one of these? Our transfer of funds?
I don't know.
At the year end, we're gonna put it into the bridge project or road maintenance, whichever one you wanna call this. I thought one was road maintenance, one was a bridge, but they both figured into the bridge.
They're actually both called bridge fund at the bank.
Oh, is that right?
Mhm.
Okay.
The only thing that differentiates is the account number, so pay
Yeah.
attention.
We got one that's coming up in January.
When exactly are we doing the bridge and when exactly do we need the cash?
Exactly 2020. 2022 is what they,
2022?
yep, they told me 2021 to begin with, and they backed it up to 2022, and then I heard after that it was gonna be 2021 again. So, it's either gonna be 2021 or 2022 at this point.
How about if we do a 9-month rollover, if the bank allows it, we can combine the two next October.
Okay,
That gives us a 6-figure balance, which is negotiable with the bank.
okay. That'd be a good option.
Is that the percent we're getting that's on there right now?
I assume so. I inherited those numbers, but I think they're pretty good numbers.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'd like to put some money in there. Where do you get
Donate.
where do you get 6.8%?
You can donate anytime you want.
I would think that we could add whatever we wanna roll over to that.
To the one that's coming due in January here?
Right.
That's
I
fine.
would think that the bank would go along with that.
Yeah, because it's renewable at that point, and I think if we, when we do our, transfer, do it at that point, put it in there,
Yeah.
you know, for our year-end funds. Okay,
I mean, if it's 2021, we could just do it for a year. Because, I mean, that would be next year, but,
Mhm.
you know, we have the conflicting dates now.
Mhm.
Yeah, because the last I heard, they moved it from 2021 to
Yeah.
2022.
Otherwise, we could renew it for a year, and when the October one comes new, we could turn that into a 3-month and then combine them for 3 months, but
Mhm.
Or not combine them at all, because you're gonna have, 1 year of design costs.
Mhm. And that'll probably be this year.
And then you're gonna have construction costs.
And that'll be the year.
You get a penalty if you pull out.
yep.
Yeah,
would.
you lose the interest for however, wherever you end up in that time frame.
Well, when would the design costs be coming in?
That should be this year.
2020, 2021?
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Can you pinpoint it a little bit better than that?
No, you can't. We really
Sorry.
can't. What we'd probably be okay with is if we put the end of the year money into the one that's coming due, and then we probably won't get billed till towards the end of the year for the engineering. Am I correct, Patty? I mean, we're guessing,
Yeah.
but we'd have that one coming due in October anyway. So if we see something coming through at that time, we could take a look at it, Bruce.
Won't the engineering cost be only a portion of the amount anyway? So
It's
you're really
only gonna
not
be
talking about the entire
26,000.
amount, so you could pick a portion that's smaller.
Right, so I mean, if we need to, you know, pull it, we could do it back in October then, if we have to,
Okay,
out of that
so
one.
go with the 9-month with the idea in mind that we could combine them, but not necessarily would?
Right,
Okay, you got it.
how's that sound to you guys? Want a motion for that, Patty?
You already have a motion on the table to accept the
Oh, the financial statement,
financial work.
that's right, we were in discussion.
Yeah.
We didn't even get to your part yet. But are you gonna need a motion for that, once we get done with
As
this?
soon as you act on the motion on the table.
Okay. We need to get through the financial statement first.
I know that. Still can't get two open motions.
I know. So, anything else, Steve, on your end?
I'm sorry?
Anything else, any more on your end?
No?
Okay. Patty?
Russ,
I,
Gary, Debbie.
Aye. Okay, then we need a motion to, I'll make this motion. Put the year-end money into the CD coming up in January for 9 months, am I correct?
Correct.
Okay,
How much is that year-end money you're talking about here?
about 75,000, isn't it?
Close to it, yeah.
Yeah, it's right
I don't know
around.
the exact.
Is this the exact? The 70, no, okay. It's right around 75,000.
All right, sum that up.
So I need a second.
I'll second that.
Any discussion or more discussion? Patty, want to do a vote on that one?
Russ,
I,
Gary,
I,
Debbie.
Aye. Next, checks to approve.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy, yeah.
Checks to approve. So the first thing I'd like to do is declare a conflict of interest for signing of one check to Marshfield Area Pet Shelter, check 16906. So Gary, you can sign that instead of me, please. Yes?
16906.
Marshfield Area Pet Shelter, 16906.
is that a donation to them, or?
It is not a donation, it is not a donation, but according to ethics and Wisconsin statutes, I have to declare that because I am the president of that organization.
So she can't sign that. That's what the conflict is.
Well, I didn't know what it was for.
It's
It's $200, and I didn't.
$200, it's $50 a cat, and you have 4 cats.
4 cats?
We got a whole bunch of check stuff. So your checklist includes checks that were previously approved, 16827 through 16831, and the reason they're on this list is because of the date. So you run the report from 12/31 on. Those checks were previously approved. What you're looking at for approval tonight is check 16892 through 16922, including electronic fund transfers 2019, 22, and 23, and 2020, 01, 2, and 3, if you approve the electronic fund for utilities.
I'll make a motion to approve checks 16892 through 16922 with the electronic filings of 2019's 22 and 23 and 2020's 1, 2, and 3. Need a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? I want the check that goes to the Marshfield School District. It'd be a hell of a Vegas trip.
I want the one that goes to the county.
Well, between the two of us, we could have a heck of a good time. Hopefully amounts.
And the other amounts, you'll see there are some that are quite small, like 12 cents and $1.11. Those are for tax refunds.
The bank paid it.
Regardless of bank payment or the
They
bill
paid
was that.
Yeah.
Do you want to roll call or you take it?
All in favor?
I,
Aye. Motion carried. Okay, under the year balance transfers and
No,
allocations.
I'm not done yet.
Oh, Patty's not done yet, sorry.
before we move on then, do we need does he need somebody to sign that check, if she can?
Oh.
Gary Kennedy.
Gary Kennedy.
Yeah.
I'd also like the board to review, pre-approving the checks for the WIC grant, which is the election grant. The deadline to get all of the paperwork down to the state is the 28th of this month, and the computer and the security guy for the software can't come in until next week, Thursday. He'll bring an invoice, but in case it's a reimbursement grant, then we may have to write those checks. It'll be anywhere from $1,200 to $1,500. $1,200 of that is reimbursable from that grant. And there is also a Town Association District meeting in Marshfield on February 7th. And there's a $50 registration fee for that, for part of that WIC grant for the cybersecurity. And then if any board member needs board of review training, that's also available at that conference. So each individual would be $50.
That, for sure. Russ doesn't have to. He can go if he wants to, but. And that's on February 7th, Patty,
February 7th.
at 8 AM here. Then we can get our board review certification. That calendar's no good, so that ain't gonna work for you.
What did he ask?
He was looking at the calendar.
I asked what date it was.
It's February 7th.
It's a Friday.
It's on a Friday. It's pretty much an all-day thing. But you will be paid a whopping $25 for the whole day. Because Patty cannot be certified for board of review because she is appointed, so it has to be board members. Okay. And then we need a motion to pre-approve these payments that she was talking about, not to exceed the, what is it, 1,500 for the grant,
Well, the grant is $1,200.
or, but the payments for this, the computer and software and cyber, whatever.
Well, you'll have two different checks. You'll have one check to Town Association, depending on what. It's $50 for me to go to the cyber,
Mm-hmm.
and $50 for whoever else is each.
So it'll be you and I, so.
So there'll be one check of the Towns Association registration will be
A check for $150.
$150 unless Gary Mile wants to go.
Yeah. Well, he's not here to ask him, so. Just put us down at this point.
The grant is reimbursable up to $1,200. I can't tell you what Vernex Computers is going to charge.
But if we approve a check up to $1,500, that should take care of it?
I think so, hope so.
I mean, you gotta make sure that you have the security of software on there. Am I correct?
Well, they got, yeah, he's gotta follow all the parameters for the security software, and part of that $1,200 WET grant is a reimbursement for me attending the round table at the Town Association meeting.
Mm-hmm.
They only allow $600 for a computer on the grant, so we may be picking up part of that.
Didn't we already get that money?
Yeah.
We got the $1,200 already, which we carried over to this year, so, but it's, we have to pay for it now, so. So I'll make a motion to approve a check, approximately $1,500 to cover the computer and the software and security and everything that has to be on that. And the Town Association check for $150.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, Patty, what else you got?
Oh, gee. The other thing I had is the ordinance for paying routine claims outside of a meeting as long as there's a fiscal benefit to the town, it's ordinance 75-7. The examples in the ordinance just simply say utility bills, and I just wanna be sure that the board feels that telephone and cell phone are included in that, because the Frontier bill and the Cellcom bill have different lines and several accounts associated with one parent account, and they have been messed up since last summer. So I went into Cellcom and talked to the business manager there, and they suggested doing an online access, so you can access the account. And then when you sign up for paperless billing, you also get a discount on the account. And that is approximately $60 a month, which is saving us some money, so.
And what it all boils down to is paying.
Well, what it boils down to is the check and the bill crossed in the mail because of the date of the meetings. So with the online access, if the board considers those utilities, then you can do electronic payments, and it'll show up on your checklist as an EFT, just like the payroll taxes. And it'll also bring those accounts current and back into good standing, because at this point, waiting for a meeting, you're paying for late fees because of crossing the mail.
Those are utilities, I've always figured. But then we're just paying them online. Am I correct?
Online or right out of the account?
It'll be account.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be a bill paid through Pioneer Bank, because you have to pay extra to get that
Set up, yeah.
cash management set up.
Mhm.
It'll be an electronic, it'll come directly out of the checking account to Cellcom or to Alliant Energies or,
It would be set up just like our US Treasury payment.
yeah,
Department of
electronic
Revenue.
fund transfer is what it'll be.
Yep.
And then it'll come to you for final approval with the checklist.
So.
I have all my utilities taken out of my checking.
Mhm. It's just doing the payment online. You want a motion for that?
Yes.
We need a motion for that.
I'll make a motion, set those papers up, come out electronically.
Okay. Can we get a second?
I'll
Russ?
second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, Tammy, what else you got for us?
Oh, what else you wanna know? So there was a letter that was sent certified to the IRS back in July regarding a penalty that was assessed to the town in the first quarter, and just so the board knows, we did get a response in November from the IRS saying they needed an additional 60 days to review, so maybe by the end of the month we should have something there.
It's either review or, approve the interest, one of the two.
In furthering compliance with the cybersecurity for all of the WIC grant, Debbie and I met with Corey Hoffman from Marshfield Insurance when he came to go over the renewal. And we actually had to fill out an application to get a quote to up that cybersecurity clause in the insurance company, so that'll be coming before you.
And that security is actually required for the elections,
Well, it's gonna be required for everything.
but at this point.
Let's see, what else do we have? Oh, we had a overpayment. You wanna do that on the balance and the transfer, or how do you wanna do this now?
Just keep going, you're going.
Just keep going. I paid a bill twice in 2019 for the fire department because I got one,
But that was in 2019, so that wasn't your mistake.
exactly. See, and it's not credited towards the 2020.
Right. You
Yes.
realize we're gonna start keeping a tally.
Yeah, well, if you have to. Anyway, I got an invoice and a statement, and I paid both of them. The check was returned on vendor was 5 Alarm Fire, and they called Rod, and Rod called me, we called Debbie, and then they returned the check. So you guys need to figure out in the, next agenda item what to do with $1,185. And the maintenance guy, we have mailboxes that are leaking. Or, you know, maybe better way of explaining it is the weather is getting inside the mailbox because Steve had to dry out a tax payment check that was left in one, and the tax bills got wet in the other one. So to fix that, you want to buy a new
So-
mailbox.
You like, want me to turn the weather off or what?
No, we want you to adjust the doors on the mailbox if you
Well,
would.
you know, maybe look at it because the one mailbox is directly under an eave.
That's the
I'm
one.
not quite sure that's helping it.
On the clerk's, by that one there, just if you wanna check the doors.
That's called money laundering, by the way.
When they're all wet, you're saying?
Yeah.
Ah. You wanna
I
have,
don't know if there's much you can do. I mean, I get snow blows in my mailbox too.
I don't know if you can adjust the doors on them or not.
Yeah, it's 3 or 4 hours.
I don't know, but it's getting in there.
Yeah, they're getting pretty nasty. So we're gonna let you take a look at them and you can determine if we need mailboxes. Of course, if we set up a couple more outside here, we should be able to find one that works, eh?
Do you have problems with the one that's locking? Does that one get wet too?
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We spent big money on that one,
What, $40?
90,
90 it was?
90 for that.
Yeah, because it's got a key on the inside of it, but the outside door doesn't lock.
It's a magnet.
Yeah. It's a magnet that holds the door on it. And when the mail slides in there, then it goes into a supposedly secure area. But anyway, we're getting snow in there when it rains or whatever, so maybe you can build little shelters.
Yeah, put a house over it.
End of report.
That's it? You're done?
I'm done.
All right, what do you guys want to do with that check that came back? You want to add that into the year-end balance? You want to give it back to the fire department? What's your choice? The bill was paid twice. We got the check back, so what would you like to do? It's from 2019.
Where did it come out of? Put it back where it came out.
Put it back in, yeah, put it back wherever it came from.
There you go.
Back to the fire department? Add it to their budget, or do you want to put it back in our checking?
Well, would that have been left over from their
Yeah.
budget then?
Yeah,
Well, whatever was left over, we're putting into,
the road, or the
back
bridge.
into the general checking and then gonna put it into the bridge or whatever.
Do you want a motion on that one, Patty, or is that gonna suffice?
Nope,
Nope, what, you don't need a motion, or is,
doesn't suffice.
we need a motion on the check from 5 Alarm. I'll make the motion to place the check back into the checking account, then transfer with the year-end balance to the bridge. Can I get a second?
Second that.
Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
I,
Aye. Motion carried. Anything else?
No, end of report.
Okay. Also, did you happen to check, okay, we got mailboxes covered, the ambulance and the recycling checks, did you happen to check when, if those are gonna come in after February? Okay. We might need to, I think what we need to do is double check those, but we, instead of having a meeting, we have the ambulance contractor, so we're gonna be paying half on, and the recycling. Okay.
Either way, if they're due in February, they're due on the 15th, and your meeting is before that,
The 13th,
February 10th.
or is it the 10th? Well, I'm not coming till the 13th.
Oh. Appropriate, then, continue.
Well, then we should be okay, never mind about the ambulance and the recycling. Okay, where are we now? You're done.
Yellowstone Crossing.
Okay, the rezone for Yellowstone Crossing, you already had Dorothy's report, I've talked to the county, and we've had some issues down there. So they are going to be sending them, and they might have already, a letter that they kind of jumped the gun on a few things down there. They were told not to do anything until the rezone came through. So that is going to, what is it called, ERC, and then Dominic said he would let me know on what the intention is from the county, so then we can take it up from there.
ERC meeting is February 6th.
Right, so it wouldn't be until next month where we should really be, they're sending them a letter that they put the salt shed up that they weren't supposed to, and they might have gotten that already, I don't know. But he said they were told that they couldn't do anything until the rezone went through, and they just went and did whatever they wanted to. So the county right now is not real happy with them, because they went down and actually checked it. So I think we'll just kind of table that one until next month and wait and see what the county comes up with for them.
I talked to Travis the day after I was over there and gave him the standards from the state,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to check on what they are for a salt shed. He said, we're clearing that all out there. He said the salt is coming out and the snow is coming out. He said, we're doing it right now. I mean, he said, we want to work with you.
Mhm.
Talk to him and Rob.
Okay, because I know, City of Marshfield also does not want a salt shed on that property. I think they said for the use, wasn't it, Patty?
Well, Josh Miller responded to the application and planning department.
I think the city planning is the one that said that for
Let's see.
They have to be 250 feet from a well. That's the DOT.
The,
And they need a permit, whether it's a temporary, you know, because he said that was gonna be temporary, and you plan on building a permanent one in the spring. But they still need the permit from the DOT to, anytime you have over 1,000 pounds of salt.
Well, then you need a building, you have to put up a building
Well,
too.
that too, yeah.
Yeah, and they didn't get that, so.
Well, yeah, and I told him, he said, the guy told me he didn't need one, and I said, no, the county says anytime you cover any ground space, you need a building permit.
Yeah. So I think what I'm
the
gonna
city
do,
mainly talked about the zoning and the use in their correspondence.
yeah,
I don't know, I heard that the city might annex that.
well, that's very
Well,
possible.
they always could, it's in the no contest zone of the joint plan agreement. But even if they did, the city planner that is there currently told Josh Miller that even though it's a mixed use and it may be in line with the future use of the property in terms of rezoning it, the specific land use, it's probably not something they would permit in a mixed use district.
Well, my understanding is the back half is still residential,
Mhm,
where they were dumping the snow. There used to be a house there,
right,
and only the front half is commercial, and that's still residential.
the back part is residential.
Right.
Yep. So, but anyway, I wanna make a motion to table this
And
until
it's
next
not a
month.
real,
Huh?
doesn't look like a real friend, I mean, they have stuff all, looks
Yeah.
like a mini junkyard.
So I need a second on the motion.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Any more discussion on it? All in favor, say aye.
I,
Okay. All right, next item is the park contract. Patty and I started going through this and decided that there's a whole lot of changes we need to make on that, so what I would like to do is go through it, get done with it, and then present it to the board next month's meeting. Will that work for you guys? Because there's a ton in here that should be changed for the park contract.
Is that having to do with renting it out, or having to do with?
Renting it out, renting out the
Okay,
pavilion.
I didn't know if it had to do with that, or talking about putting out for bids for the.
No, not yet, that's a little early yet. But this is for the contract for the rental. So we need to update that is what we're looking at. But once we started looking at this and, we figured, a couple draw a line and whatever, no. There's a whole lot that needs to be changed, so with permission of the board.
Renters have actually pointed out discrepancies in the 2 pages of that contract.
Right.
Because there's some
It says
rules and
when they're gonna run
regulations
it.
on the form where they fill it out for their reservation, and then you get them the second page,
It contradicts.
Contradict each other.
Mhm.
yeah.
I'll make a motion to table that till next week or next month.
Next week, I'm not gonna be there.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
I,
Okay, employee status for the clerk's position. Russ, you wanted this on the agenda for, to make it exempt?
I'm sorry?
The exempt or non-exempt for the clerk's position? You had said you wanted that on the agenda this
Oh.
time?
Yeah.
Okay, the motion is what?
I think it was for,
Exempt.
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 Can we get a second?
Second that.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
I,
Opposed? Motion carried. Road permits. All right. On the road permits, I can show you, it's gonna be just as easy. We only need to make minor changes on here. One is the address, okay? And we can take this section out of here, that's just an effective date that we put our own in there when they fill this out. Also this one, that doesn't need to be on there, we can put our own date, how long the permit is for. This needs to be changed to above because the address is actually up there, not down here. But what I would like to do is add the ordinance in for repairs if they wreck the road. Because there's nothing in here, I mean, we have our ordinances, but nobody knows what they say.
Well, and the other issue, you printed that off on the website.
Right?
That is a form that was edited by someone and saved as a PDF and put on the website. That is not what the original form looks like.
Yeah.
Because the original form on the computer does not have an expiration date or an effective date.
Mm-hmm.
So
But it's on here, so.
that's what I'm saying, it was
We need to get this
edited and
changed.
put up there and it's not what it's supposed to be.
But what I'd like to do is put our ordinance, attach it to this, so that they know, instead, or we can charge per permit. We don't have a permit fee at this point. And I think, what was it, Patty, $25 for an oversized, or, and then, 50 for
It was
overweight.
25 for overweight, 50 for oversized.
Okay, that's what it was backwards. But I would just as soon not have a permit fee, but I do want to add that ordinance to it so that if they do wreck the road, they're aware that they have to repair.
it's a good idea.
And the ordinance and in the acknowledgement of the signature on the application, it says they've read and they understand and they know.
Right. We would change that portion, so it'd be attached to this, actually. It just, otherwise you can say, well, our ordinance say, and they'll say, well, we didn't know about that. So, this way we can enforce it a little bit better, I think. So, I'll need a motion on that.
I'll make the motion to make the changes on that form.
Okay. I'll second that one. All in favor, say aye.
I,
Opposed? Okay. That wasn't too bad for a meeting. We need to set up a time for Rod's evaluation. And the dates that I have available would be the 15th in the afternoon, the 16th, or the 23rd, which would be this coming Wednesday afternoon, or Thursday, or the following Thursday.
what other dates up there?
I got the 15th or 16th, which would be either this Wednesday or Thursday,
Okay,
or the following Thursday,
what date's that?
23rd.
I'm not available.
The following, you're not available on the 23rd? 15th and 16th you are?
Yeah, then we're,
15th
then we're
would be better
okay.
for me.
15th would be better for Gary? Figure, that's gonna have to be later in the afternoon, correct, Patty? Wednesday?
Yeah, if you want me there, yeah.
Yeah. 4:30-ish,
Well, 4 o'clock would work.
4 o'clock, 15th, will that work
Okay.
for you guys? Work for you, Rod?
Yeah.
I'll have all my following done by
Well, you better get on the stick. Okay, and then newsletter will be coming out in, I want it to be mailed mid-March. So that it's all out and everything before our annual meeting and people have time to digest it and all that good stuff. So you can start working on letters for that. Plan commission is going to be also. And then the picnic date, I would like to set also for July 26th, which is the last Sunday of July. And I need permission to do that in order to put it into the newsletter. So if that works, that's right, let's see, Hub City Days is Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and this would be on a Sunday. So the way it looks, there wasn't anything really going on anyplace that I know of. On the 26th of July, is anybody aware?
Isn't it? Oh, well, that's Hope City, isn't it?
That ends on Saturday. This would be on Sunday. So I'd like to make a motion to have the picnic on July 26th.
Also move.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? There's nobody here to do that. And then I need a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second,
Do that.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And we are done. And thank you all for coming and staying tonight. From the caucus, and visiting. Did we cover everything?
I got nothing but X's on mine, because your
Yeah,
list,
mine
I did
was,
yours.
I did my list and you did your list.
I think we're good.
Okay.
Where is it?